And so I knew I had to step back and say, what is it I'm passionate about? How is it I can best help people with the skills that I have?
You have to set a mindset to say, I'm going to promote my brand consistently all the time, right?
Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand.
You've got a flashy logo, a catchy tagline, compatible colors, and some really good looking professional photos. Your personal brand is complete, or so you think.
Before you start marketing your brand to the world, there are 7 deadly sins that business owners and entrepreneurs make that send them right back to the 9-to-5 grind and away from their dream business. I know I have made all 7 of these sins. We know you don't make these same mistakes, and we don't want you to make these same mistakes if you are making these same mistakes. So get ready. Take some notes.
Take some notes on this, guys, because these are 7 killers, right? Number 1 is no differentiation. If you followed us just for 5 minutes, you'll know that it is not enough to just be known for what you do, because great branding is not about being known for your profession. Nope, it's not. It's about being known for being different in your profession. And it doesn't have to be super complicated either, right? It does need to be 2 things, though. What you want to be known for and what sets you apart, the people you're trying to attract, and unique to you in your space. Okay, so that's no differentiation. The number one
that is
sin,
the number one. That is
number
the number one
deadly sin.
That is a very
make.
deadly sin. The second deadly sin is no focus. Fear of focus is a top reason for failure in business, period. That's all it boils down to. Look, even if you don't have a point of differentiation, if you don't have focus, you're dead. And you know, if I had to guess, I'd say everyone listening right now has made this mistake at some point in your career. I have made it plenty of times. Mostly that comes in the form of either trying to appeal to everyone, trying to be everything to everybody, and causing us to spread ourselves way too thin. When we work with clients, they often tell us they don't want to alienate prospects. So when we talk about niche or focus, they start, I'm going to lose business, right? You know, and they don't want to be, they want to be able to help everyone. I got into business to help people, right? And we remind them that if they try to help everyone, they're going to help themselves right out of business. Well, and that's exactly what you do. You can't serve everybody all the time. You've got to choose a lane and stick to it for a second.
And I made that mistake one time, and actually it resulted in a company called BrandFace, because I was sitting at my desk one day and realizing, hey, everybody that walks through that door I can do business with. And the bad part of that was that everybody that walked through that door I could do business with. Mm-hmm. That meant one thing to me. I was no longer special. Nope. I was no longer known for something unique, something different. And so I knew I had to step back and say, what is it I'm passionate about? How is it I can best help people with the skills that I have? And that ended up to be BrandFace. So I'm very grateful for making that mistake. It was a big one, right? Thank goodness I remedied it in time.
Amen to that.
Number 3 is no authenticity. Okay. Mm-hmm. And authenticity is, you know, it's not this fluffy word necessarily. You hear a lot of people talking about you have to just be you. You post personal things about yourself. Yes, those are great, right? But you've got to figure out what it is you want out of life, right? And how you behave and how you think every single day, and build your brand around that, because it's a lot easier to go with the flow of who you truly are than trying to be something or someone else, which brings me to a very important part, right? We hear this a lot of times. Can you show me other people's brands that you've done? Or I saw this person's brand one time and I really, really loved it. And I really like something like that. To which I just cringe on all fronts, totally cringe, because that is not what we're in this for. You come to BrandFace to be different, right? So stop looking at what everybody else is doing. It doesn't matter what they're doing. What matters is creating the brand, what you want to be known for, how you want people to view you and to feel about you. You have the opportunity right now to influence that by the way that you build your personal brand, okay? And, you know, one quote that's great to know when it comes to this authenticity, it's important to be the most memorable person in the room when you're out somewhere, right? But it's more more important to be the most memorable person after you leave the room.
That's exactly right.
It sure is. And a lot of that has to do with authenticity because you are a unique individual.
Yep. All right. Number 4, deadly sin. If you want to build your business, get out of the 9-to-5 grind, keep yourself from having to go back to that 9-to-5 job that you left to have your freedom anyway, is no consistency. And we're talking about 2 things when we speak about consistency. First, let's take the consistent look and feel of your brand. If your brand looks different every time that you put it out there, there's no retention. There's no recall. We're too busy. Human beings are too busy. Like, we're not going to pay attention to one postcard. Your marketing companies will tell you, postcards have 100% open rate. Yeah. And they have about a 99.999% throwaway rate too. Right. And what you want is, as they're throwing it away, you want them to remember you. And if you have a different message, feel, look every time, then they're going to have no recollection of that. The second part of that is being consistent about the promoting of that brand. You can't say that I'm going to do it today for a little bit, and I'm going to do it, and then 3 months from now for a little bit, and I'm going to do it. You can't do that. You have to set a mindset to say, I'm going to promote my brand consistently all the time, right? You have to have a lot of things put together. We can help people define, develop, and display a very incredible brand. But at the end of the day, if you're not consistent in putting it out there, using it to attract your ideal customer is what we're talking about, well, you might as well not have it at all. Why did you take the time to do it?
Exactly. So those 2 things about consistency, I just want to drive home. There's a consistency of a look and feel of a brand, and there's a consistency of promoting the brand, right?
Very important.
And that look and feel reminds me of one quick thing I want to tell you. A lady came into our program not long ago. She said because she felt like she had multiple personality disorder. She had multiple things. She had something different on every platform and every marketing tool out there. And she said, I just feel like I have multiple personality disorder. Now she doesn't.
For sure.
So that's good. Okay. Deadline number 5, no content. This might surprise some of you, right? But the goal of every one of our BrandFace clients is to set themselves apart as an authority in their industry. Well, you can't do that unless you put some of your knowledge out there to get that expertise across. Okay. So I'm going to give you a great tip today that we have been doing for years, and it's called a multi-purpose strategy for our content. And what we generally do, I'm going to give you like case in point, this live video we're doing right now. Okay. Keep in mind that's content piece number 1. Okay. This live video we're doing gets turned into a podcast, a Be Bold Branding podcast. That's number 2, which gets turned into a social media post, which gets turned into a blog post, which gets turned into an email that goes out to our database, right? And which in some cases, not all, gets turned into an article. Okay. That is 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6 pieces of content.
7 possible.
Right. So keep in mind, that's actually 1 piece of content on 6 different platforms and delivered 6 different ways. And so think about that. Just a few hours of work, like, on a Saturday or a Sunday, sit down and do just a few hours of work. You can plan out your content topics for an entire year. Do it one time, right?
Very important.
Do however you want to start. If you want to start by just a little audio podcast, by a blog post, whatever it becomes after that. If you don't have a podcast, don't worry about those things, right?
Look at layering it like that.
Look at layering
is very important. And then you also remember what we just said in number 4, be consistent about it. You got to be consistent about it, guys.
Exactly.
All right, number 6, no call to action. Huge mistake. I made it for years, maybe even as long as 2 decades. We see far too many clients who are marketing and advertising with absolutely no call to action, right? No CTA. They could be doing everything else right. They're educating their customers, engaging with their customers, putting themselves out there consistently. But look, if you don't have a call to action, you're not telling people what you expect from them. Sure. So let's take this scenario. Let's take Facebook as an example. Your customers no doubt see posts from several people in your industry, just within their own network or feed, because there's 1,000 people doing each job that we have out there, right? You're probably not the only coach or consultant or real estate professional or speaker, et cetera, that they know. They probably know a dozen others. But if you were the one actually asking them to take a step forward with you and giving them that next step, such as prospects will come up with many reasons not to use you when they don't know how to use you. Okay. That's the thing that you got to stick to. That I'm going to say it again. Prospects will come up with 1,000 reasons not to use you when they don't know how to use your services. You got to tell them how to do that.
That's
Use
true.
your unique brand to connect with people and to get them to take that next important step. And I encourage people to ask for that at least 3 times more than you're mentally comfortable doing, because that's literally what it takes.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And it's what it takes to penetrate through the human brain these days, too.
It does.
At least, right? Okay. Number 7 deadly sin is no follow-up. You know who you are.
Ooh,
you know who you are.
Bad one. Bad
This is a bad
people.
one. I've been guilty of it many times in
I
my
have
past.
too.
Absolutely.
It'll transform your business if you fix it.
Yep. So think about it this way. Not everybody you talk to today is ready to do business with you today. There could be 10 reasons why maybe they're just window shopping. They're looking around. They're thinking about it. Don't say, okay, I have a CRM and I plug some generic emails into it. Just make sure my name's spelled right in them and my phone number's in there. That's not enough, guys. It's not enough. Integrate your brand and infuse your brand into it. So when you send out those emails or those text messages or postcards or whatever is in your follow-up system, make sure they never forget why you are their only hope. Okay.
That's right.
That's what you want to make sure. Make sure they know your why and make sure it stays top of mind until they make that decision.
You must follow up, guys. You cannot understand what somebody means in a text. You cannot understand what somebody means, what their message is in an email. You have to follow up on your leads. And I don't care what business you're in, you have to get people on the phone and talk to them. Hey, listen, I hope that y'all get really good value out of this in building your business, because that's truly what Tanya and I want for you, right? And we give you really good content like this every day. So subscribe to us, hit that notification button so we can be right at top of mind awareness for you. And you'll pick up a tidbit from here and there. And you'll learn things like the 7 deadly sins. And if you fix those things, it will transform your business. I'm living proof of that. In fact, BrandFace is living proof of that. When we learned these things, our companies took off. And we want that for y'all. So be sure that you subscribe and you get the notifications on that. And hey, we know at BrandFace, prosperity favors the bold, guys. So you know what we say? Be bold. Especially with your brand and especially in 2022. We really want that for you. Thank you, Ms. Tanya.
Thank you. All right, guys, we'll see you here next time. If you have any questions about those or about those 7 deadly sins, put it in the comments below and we will make sure to circle back around to you and help you out. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Brought to you by BrandFace, the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.